Welcome into the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. I have to start off by saying bear with me on today's show. Got a root canal this morning. Right now I can't feel the left side of my face. Can't enunciate like I usually do. But the 49ers made a pretty marquee signing in NFL free agency, and we have to cook up a video. Kerry Hyder, after a season away from San Francisco with the Seattle Seahawks, is coming back to the Bay. This coming from Field Yates of ESPN. A return to San Francisco as the 49ers are signing defensive end Kerry Hyder to a one-year, $1.5 million contract, $750,000 in guaranteed money, and $750,000 available in sack incentives. Back in 2020, had a career-best 8.5 sacks. His previous record for career highs went back with the Detroit Lions when he had 8. So Arden Key, back in 2021, replaced Kerry Hyder. Is Kerry Hyder now replacing Arden Key? I expect that to be the case, and if you're paying him this little money and he produces 6 to 8 sacks, it's a great value deal for San Francisco. As for what Hyder did the last 2 years, 8.5 sacks in 2020, 18 quarterback hits, really good for the Niners, 49 tackles, 10 tackles for losses. He was very active in the backfield and 1 fumble recovery. Because of that performance, he landed a deal with the division rival Seattle Seahawks, but didn't live up to that deal. Only 1.5 sacks last year for a struggling defense that's been bad for a little while. 11 quarterback hits, 33 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 2 fumbles forced. This looks to be, for San Francisco, the Arden Key replacement. So Arden Key is probably going to go elsewhere in NFL free agency. He's met with the Detroit Lions, he's met with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he really proved to be a great value signing for San Francisco last year when he had 6.5 sacks and really was able to gather momentum from the middle half of the season all the way until the end of it through the playoffs, and was a good culture fit for what San Francisco was trying to do and a great scheme fit. Now with the Raiders previously, Arden Key lined up at defensive end, looked to be a bust with the Raiders. He comes to San Francisco, really thrives on that defensive line in this system under defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans and defensive line coach Chris Kocurek. That's why I like and really like Kerry Hyder coming back to the Niners, because I think he's a great scheme fit. He has familiarity with this defense, this coaching staff, and this roster. And after a down year with Seattle, I fully expect him to have a bounce-back year as a rotational defensive end piece to replace Arden Key, who's going to get a lot more money in NFL free agency than Kerry Hyder. And let's just say you're paying Hyder $1.5 million and you get 5 to 8 sacks. That's a steal, and I think that's going to happen and going to be able to ring true, because this defensive line, especially at the edge spot, is extremely deep and one of the best from top to bottom in the National Football League, of course paced by Nick Bosa. Grade the signing of Kerry Hyder for me in the comment section. A, B, C, D, or F. I really like it because of the value and the player and the familiarity. Chime into the comment section. And while you're down there, make sure you hit that red subscribe button to hop on board of everything we're doing here on the 49ers Report. I'm bringing you shows even after a root canal. I kind of sound like Kanye West through the wire, you know what I'm saying? Because I can't really talk all that well, but we're still pumping out content because we are built different. Help us get to 60,000 subs by hitting that red subscribe button down below. As for what the 49ers defensive line depth chart looks like as of now, still some questions at that defensive tackle spot on both the left side and the right side. Is Javon Kinlaw going to come back from the ACL recovery? Is Mo Hurst, after re-signing with the Niners after an injury-plagued season in 2021, going to be the starter? But that's really up in the air right now. And is Eric Armstead going to continue to go from edge to defensive tackle and play that hybrid role? I talk about that depth. I really like it. Charles Omenihu, Jordan Willis coming back, Hassan Ridgeway, Kevin Givens, Chris Slayton, Kerry Hyder, and Samson Ebukam. That right there, like last year, is about 6 to 10 people deep realistically. Very important throughout the course of an NFL season, because you want to continue to keep those legs fresh, rotate guys in, because now we have a 17-game season, and now, we expect the Niners to go on another deep playoff run. If a Nick Bosa and Armstead and everybody else can remain fresh, it just means they can get after the quarterback that much more. Now, on yesterday's show, one of 3 that we put up on the channel, we talked about Jordan Willis coming back to the Niners on a 1-year contract. Another one of those value deals that I like, because he really started to find his stride, toward the end of last year. And when you're paying a player minimal money worth around $1 million and they can give you this production as a rotational piece, you're getting good bang for your buck. Last 7 games, including the playoffs, for Jordan Willis. 15 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 7 quarterback hits. When you have players along the defensive line who are wreaking havoc like a Nick Bosa and an Eric Armstead, it helps everybody out and takes the pressure off of them and the focus off of them so that they can really play comfortably and get after the quarterback. Now, a lot of you are watching the 49ers Report here on YouTube. We're also available on Rumble, and we really have to pick up some momentum in that regard, and we've been able to do so over the last couple of days. We're approaching 200 subscribers on Rumble, and we're going to be continuing to push out free, uncensored, and additional content that you can't find on YouTube on Rumble. Additionally, on the app, you can find sports content, news, politics, tech, business. For me, I'm an all-around cat, so I like to stay informed on everything. That's why I'm a big Joe Rogan guy. I like open-minded conversations, and I like to be educated on a variety of issues, and if you don't like it, it's all good. We can still be friends. And if you don't like Rumble, you will if you go to rumble.com/49erstv. I promise you, easy to use app, more additional content. Head to rumble.com/49erstv and subscribe by hitting that green subscribe button. More Jimmy Garoppolo trade rumors to get to as he continues to be one of the marquee storylines during the offseason. And Mike Florio and Chris Simms had a pretty interesting conversation on Pro Football Talk about a trade destination that we really haven't talked about much over the last couple of weeks. The Houston Texans. Mike Florio saying this about Jimmy G. He's better than Davis Mills. I said this all along. He'll take a 4-13 team and make it 8-9 or 9-8. He's not going to take you to the top of the mountain, but he'll at least pull you out of the bottom of the sewer. Good analogy there. I think he's good enough to do that. Chris Simms in response, I hear that. I do look at him as an upgrade over Davis Mills. I do. Davis Mills, I know he did some good things at the end of the year. I'm still not sold that he's a starting quarterback material in the NFL. That's the one where if you asked me, I think there might be some real interest. Again, you're not tied to Jimmy G for a long time. There's knowledge of him. He's going to be able to run your system. Great. And it gives you some time to continue to look at Davis Mills and see if there's other quarterbacks here in the draft or next year or two that might pop up in free agency, and we can get a change, our football team that way. Now, there are some connections between Jimmy Garoppolo and the Houston Texans. When Nick Caserio was with the New England Patriots and Jimmy Garoppolo was drafted out of Eastern Illinois back in 2014, guess who was the director of player personnel? It was Nick Caserio, who's now the general manager of the Houston Texans. So there's that level of familiarity if the Houston Texans emerge as a trade partner and a trade destination for Jimmy Garoppolo. Caserio, Bill Belichick, Josh McDaniels, they were very high on Garoppolo coming out of Eastern Illinois, and that's a big reason why they took him in that second round. I mean, look, Tom Brady was still in his prime when Garoppolo got drafted, but they were so convinced that Garoppolo could have been a good player and a quality long-term starter and a Tom Brady replacement that Nick Caserio helped lead the charge as the director of player personnel for the Houston Texans, and they took Garoppolo in the second round that year. Where will Jimmy G play in 2022? Are we ruling out that the Niners could bring him back? At least wait till he can get healthy? We'll see. If it's another destination, let me know. Swollen face, numb face and all. Hey, 49ers news and rumors coming your way. That's why you subscribe. Thanks so much for the support and watching today's show.